Hi there. Welcome to my views and news. Thank you for joining the live chat session, viewers. Yesterday, I tried to have a live chat with you, but the country where I was at an airport there. Internet speed was not stable, signals were fluctuating, so we could not do a live chat yesterday. But now, where I am, I think from here we can have regular live chats. So we're resuming live chats a little late today because it's a new country, new place for me. It takes some time for things to settle down a little. Thank you for waiting for the live chat. Thank you for joining the live chat. I've been making videos from the airport too, so that we should stay ourselves, we should keep ourselves updated. Uh, Three main topics in real life. Let me read the participants' comments and their names. Ali Horace Aboros says, transition from what to what? We'll talk about that. Uh, Wakjira Wakitoli says, good evening, sir. How are you, Wakitoli? MT says, indeed, we need Abiy Ahmed and his Oromama group gone as soon as possible. Well, first topic is about the call for transitional government in Ethiopia. Are there any signs? Will international community call for this change in Ethiopia? Who is making this call? What will government do in its response to these calls? Secondly, TPLF, Gideon Timotheus, the Justice Minister, has written a letter about the TPLF. And thirdly, Kenya, viewers, where Ruto has backed down. Yemane says, so late. Yeah, Yemane, I said at the start of the live chat that I am traveling. I am in a foreign country. Yesterday, I was in another country, but from there, chat could not be launched. From here, I think we can resume live chats, but it takes time definitely to settle down a little. Internet speed, time difference. Uh, it takes some time. So hopefully, by uh, starting from tomorrow, we'll have regular live chats on time. MTTY says, one of the most disappointing group of people we had high hopes for getting us back on track away from ethnic federalism. Nonia Biz says, it's hard to believe Abiy would willingly step down. Yeah, you're right. I agree. Let's start, viewers. I did a video around 48 hours ago. I told you about a meeting between US ambassador to Ethiopia and Heraltian Post joined too. He says, Saji, today it's Somali's Independence Day. Allah bless Somalia and protect Somalia from the greedy thieves. Pano Double A joined to, yeah, both Somalia, Somaliland. They organized gatherings today. I could not do a video, as I told you. I have been on the move constantly in the last 48 hours. So it's been celebrated in Somalia as a national day, I think, in Somaliland too, 26th. By the way, it was being said that on the 26th of June, Somalian President Hassan Musi Abdi will travel to Ethiopia. It has not happened so far. So he is there in Somaliland. Heratian Post says, please greet them as Muslim. Well, Muslim Islam has nothing to do with that. Whether they are Muslims or non-Muslims, it has nothing to do with greeting. I can greet anyone. My viewers are not just Muslims. My religion has nothing to do with my reporting. So 2 days ago, I did a video about meeting between Gaidu Undergaichu and US ambassador to Ethiopia. I think I was the first one to record because, or one of the first one, because I received information direct from the people who were part of the meeting. And the moment they came out of the meeting, they gave me this information. I was at an airport back then, but I managed to make a video. Uh, Gaidu Gachu met with Arvind Masinga, US ambassador to Ethiopia. He was accompanied by Yilkal. Yilkal Ganate, I think is his name, is also a politician like Gaidu, opposition politician, we can say now. Both held a meeting with Arvind Masinga and they handed over a document to Arvind Masinga. Document about the situation in Amhara region, document about what should be done. We don't know who prepared this document. I mean, is Gaidu representing Fano? Does Fano see Gaidu as a representative? I don't think so. Does Fano see Yilkal as a representative? I'm not talking about Yilkal Kefale, no. This is Yilkal Ganate, I think. He's leader of an opposition political party. Opposition politician, you can say. So the two met with the US ambassador representing Amhara people, representing Fano's demands, you can say. Though Fano never appointed them as its ambassadors, as its representatives. And in the document handed over to the US ambassador by these two Amhara leaders, they demanded the establishment of transitional government in Ethiopia. This demand is not new, by the way. Fano has also been making a similar demand. Fano groups are rejecting the idea of negotiation with PM Abiy's government. They say this government, the Prime Minister, will have to go. Only then talks can be held. This is what the two leaders said, Gaidu and Yelkal, that first of all, a transitional government should be established in Ethiopia. And after that, comprehensive dialogue should be held, leading the country to real change. I think these Amhara leaders want a restoration of the conditions, the situation in country to 2018. In 2018, after Kio's movement, EPRDF Prime Minister resigned, Abiy came as caretaker Prime Minister, interim Prime Minister. His job was to steer the country towards next election, towards democratic reforms. But Abiy postponed election. He said that it was due to COVID. And then war broke out in Tigray. During the war, Abiy held election while opposition politicians were in prison. So he got himself elected. This is how election was conducted in 2021. So Gaidu and Jilkal and other Amhara leaders, they want Ethiopia to start again from 2018. New interim government, new reforms, comprehensive dialogue, and then election. This is what I have understood from what they are demanding. And maybe Fano demands the same too, I think. Fano groups have almost similar demands. They want this government gone. They want to be in Addis Ababa, definitely, but they want representative government, a new government. So, on the one hand, these Amhara leaders are calling for transitional government in Ethiopia. On the other hand, we're seeing some developments regarding the call for negotiations between Fano and government. Jawar today published a message. Jawar told another story as if military is in control of this new initiative for talks. He claimed military is in control. Military is just sick of what is happening in Amhara. It cannot fight forever in Amhara. Military solution is not a solution. The military is telling Abiy that we should talk to Fano, and that is why military is in charge of this new initiative. And Fano group should not waste this opportunity, and they should talk to the government. Uh, Again, Tishagar, the Speaker of House of Federation, spoke in Bahirdar this week. And man described the real picture of the Amhara region, that by road travel is a luxury, students out of schools, tax collection, low crop cultivation, very low, people suffering. This is not the way forward. Talk should happen. This is what he said. While the government has been claiming that everything is under control, 97% under control of the region. But the former Amhara president and now Speaker of the Federation, Agadan Shagar, spoke the truth in Bahirdar. He called for dialogue too. He said, enough of killing each other. Let's talk. This is the situation. Everyone is talking about talks now. Talks should happen. Talks should happen in Amhara. Why? Why now? And we know that state of emergency was not extended to earlier this month. It expired. Can we say that the federal government has realized that it cannot defeat foreign groups militarily? Well, by the way, I just hate to remind what I said, but sometimes I have to do that. When this conflict in Amhara broke out last year, I think it was May, June, when I made videos. Back then, I said government should talk to Fano groups as soon as possible. Fano groups won't be crushed. Government will have to call for dialogue one day. You'll see that. Save the world. Thank you for making me happy by this comment. I'm not 20s. I'm not in 20s, definitely. So the government thought that it would be able to defeat Fano. Everyone who was neutral knew, I think. By the way, both parties overestimated their strength. Fano groups were about to reach Addis Ababa last year. They never managed to get close to Addis Ababa. While government was about to crush all Fano groups in days. It did not happen. Both were exaggerated. Now, government has realized that it will have to rationalize its approach towards Fano. Fano groups believe that now government is under pressure. This is the time to put more pressure upon the government. Government has used all the tactics, military tactics, etc. Now, this is the time to strike decisive blows to government. And that is why they don't want to talk. And they believe that they can, they are in a strong position now. And they if even if they have to start talks, they'll be in a strong position. Government forces could kill just one Fano commander in the last 1 year. All other major Fano commanders are alive, safe, giving interviews, leading their troops. leading their not troops, their fighters, and organizing the groups structure, trying to form central structure on Amhara regional level. I think there is realization at government camp that somehow talks should start. Fano groups should be brought to table, but no flexibility shown so far by the other side, Fano groups. Ethion says you care more about Ethiopia than our leaders. It's not about caring. It was just plain. Uh, it was a simple analysis. Everything was clear. Chief of Hamasian says you never speak about Pakistan. I never speak about Pakistan because my viewers are not from Pakistan. You are not from Pakistan. No one would like to listen to me about what is happening in Pakistan. You people have no interest in learning about Pakistan. So, and I have no work to share with you about Pakistan. If you want to cover a country, you need to spend time studying, learning, developing sources, connecting dots. It's not just that you get a news and you make a video. What is happening in North Shore? I don't know. Be better. Secondly, viewers, TPLF. Gideon Timotheus, the Minister of Justice of Ethiopia, has written a letter about the Tigray People Liberation Front. TPLF stood its ground. It refused to be to apply for the registration as a new political party. That was what Nebe told TPLF to do last year. Not last year, a few months ago, Nebe said that TPLF cannot be registered as a party. That is why it should apply with a new name. TPLF refused. TPLF held talks with federal government. TPLF Prosperity Party held talks. And then we saw that a new law was approved by the parliament, which would enable TPLF to be registered as a party, enabling it to contest elections. Now, the law, we know, was approved by the parliament a few days ago. Gideon Timotheus now has written a letter to the NABE, National Election Board of Ethiopia, to register TPLF as a political party. So let's see what NABE does. NABE is under the control of the government. Ethiopian uh, Election Commission, judiciary, everything is under government control. No institution is totally independent. NABE will definitely put a stamp. It will stamp the decision of the parliament, and TPLF is going to be restored as a party. And TPLF will definitely contest election in Tigray and regional election to federal election as well. Good news for TPLF. It shows how uh, the two groups, TPLF and federal government, are getting along well. In recent days, they have resolved some differences. One of the difference was about the status of TPLF. Another was about the restoration of areas which were under TPLF control before the start of war. That is happening to gradually, it is happening. Then return of IDPs. So TPLF's demands are being met gradually. Last news story, then we'll end the live chat. We'll tie today, tomorrow we'll have longer live chats. Kenya, where people won, Ruto, the president, had to withdraw. Just a few hours ago, William Ruto announced that he would not sign the controversial bill, finance bill, which was the source of protests in Kenya. Yesterday, we saw that people stormed the parliament and around 20 security forces opened fire at protesters. 20 deaths are being reported by some sources. 20 killed and several injured. Ruto announced the deployment of military in support of police to control the law and order situation. Uh, that decision could have backfired too, had Ruto not withdrawn. You cannot control people. Once they come out on the streets and they are tens of thousands, you cannot control them. The biggest power in any part of the world is held by people. If they know how to express it, how to use it, you cannot, no one can counter this power. No military, no one can counter it. So Ruto, I think, made the right decision. He decided that he would announce that he will not sign the controversial finance bill. And by the way, the bill has been approved by the parliament. Ruto's signature will make it a law. Ruto says that since people have spoken and he is people's representative, he won't go ahead with the bill. Bill won't. It will not be enforced. All that happened because people showed their power. They sacrificed 20 dead and several injured too. They sacrificed and now they forced Ruto to step back. Ruto waited for people to die. His police killed people. He wanted to see the gravity, the strength of the protest and protesters. And protesters were unrelentless. The protesters were unstoppable. And they just, one after the other, launched new protests. It became almost impossible for the government to stop these protests. Now, will the protesters now stop the movement, or will they announce a new plan of action? That remains to be seen. But Ruto has publicly announced that he won't sign the controversial finance bill. Gobina says, what is your opinion on this recommendation? Which recommendation? Are you talking about TPLF? Malin Tajir, hi Sajid, what's new about Somaliland? So far, nothing new. Somaliland celebrated Independence Day in both in Somalia and Somaliland. Ceremonies, official celebrations were held, but no big move so far by Somaliland to sign the final MOU, final agreement. It was being said, by the way, that on 26th of June, Musavi Abdi could travel to Ethiopia. But Ethiopian state media said that on the 30th of June, people will hear good news. 7th of 30th of June. So it means it would be around 7th of July. So we'll have to wait more for around 10 days. And then we'll see what Ethiopian state media was saying. Was it about Somaliland or something else? That remains to be seen. Thank you, Lilo. Ayana says the federal government can implement Pretoria deal and embrace the TPLF. Then Abiy will sit in the Iron Throne like Matuska. Trust me, as simple as that. Well, the real threat to Abiy is not from TPLF. Now the threat is from Fano. Threat is from Amhara region. Abiy wanted to just uh, make this threat insignificant by crushing it. It did not happen. That is still there, not imminent. Dr. Jojo says, do you support Ethiopia do the same protest? Not just Ethiopia. I mean, every country, people in every country should have the freedom to protest for their rights. This is what the difference is between developed and developing countries. Developing underdeveloped countries, dictatorships where there is no democracy, they don't let their people speak. People's voices are not heard. Governments make decisions, whether these decisions are in favor of people or not. I am in support of such protests, no matter where the protests happen. And that is why I praised Kenya, that at least Kenya tolerated such mega protests. Imagine a situation like that in Eritrea, in Ethiopia. Had such protests started in these two countries, what would the leaders have done? In Eritrea, maybe by now, hundreds would have been killed. In Ethiopia, too, hundreds would have been missing and killed. Uh, and when countries learn, leaders learn how to accept these protests, it means leaders have matured themselves. It means the, they have realized that the solution to problems does not lie in use of force. Ethiopia showed this trend when Kyiv movement was launched. But after Abiy came to power, consolidated his power, after that he did not give any room to opposing voices to speak, to be raised in Ethiopia. Mahdi Ali has joined today after some time. Thank God he's not critical of me today. Today he's after Abiy. Otherwise, whenever he's joined, he starts criticizing me. Mahdi is a revolutionary, I have felt, and he can talk about any topic in the world, whether it's about Ethiopia, Eritrea, Somalia, Uganda, nuclear science, space technology, digital nomads, economy, agriculture, farming, etc. Thank you, Mahdi. There are a few viewers who I take liberties with. Muni Muni is one of them, Mahdi is another one. There are a few of them. Viewers, the 32 minutes have passed. I think we should end the live chat. Thank you for watching the live chat. We talked about call for the establishment of transitional government. Moni Moni is busy. I don't want to disclose what he's doing. He's working on a mega project. He's been hired by international firm, and he's working with that firm, uh, traveling a lot, so he's not free. Off and on, we stay in touch. We talked about the call for transitional government in Ethiopia being made by some Amhara leaders. Secondly, we talked about Kenya. President of Kenya has withdrawn. He said the law, which was passed by the parliament, won't be signed by him. The law has been withdrawn, it means. Before turning into a law, it has been withdrawn. Thirdly, TPLF status going to be restored. Gideon Timoth has written a letter to the National Election Board of Ethiopia. Thanks for watching, viewers. Good to be with you. It was good to be with you. I'll be back tomorrow. Stay blessed. Bye bye. Yeah, Alim, he did, I think, already. His name is Tom Gardner. He did. He already released a book about Abi. By the way, he called me a few weeks ago before the release of the book. Tom Gardner. We've been in touch for the last 3 years since the start of the war in Ethiopia. We have been in touch, and he just wanted to question. Uh, he told me about his upcoming book, and we talked for an hour, I think, on different issues about Ethiopia. He is not representing the economist in East Africa. He's not in Kenya because he was expelled from Ethiopia. Then he covered Ethiopia from Kenya, but now he has been given a new task. He is in the Sahel region, if I'm not wrong. And he said that you should read the book. I could not, but I think it's out. It has been released. Thank you for joining, viewers. Alim, you were late today. Alim is a member too. Tomorrow, hopefully, will be on time and have a longer live chat. Stay blessed. Bye bye.